before the throne. Oh, be lifted above all the guys. We lay our crowns and worship. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay our crown and worship you. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay, Father, we bow before the throne. I am lost. For you are God, Elohim, ancient of days, reign. There is none like you, God. Ancient of days. Father, we bow before your throne. You are God, Elohim, ancient of days. Father, reign, you reign. There is none like you, God. Ancient of days, reign, reign. Ancient of days, reign, reign, reign. Ancient of days, reign. Ancient of days, Father, you reign forever. Ancient of days, reign. Ancient of days, we bow before the throne to worship you, God. Ancient of days, Alayandos, Ayandos. Ancient of days, reign, 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 reign. Ancient of days, reign. For you are Alpha and Omega. We worship you, our God. For you are worthy.
Just push it closer.
You are Alpha and Omega. We worship you, our God. For you are worthy. So we give it all, God, glory. We worship you, our God. For you are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy. We give it all, God, glory. Yeah. We worship you, our God. For you are worthy. Father, we worship your supremacy. We give it all.
Good evening and welcome again to our third part of THEODICY. Once again, we are glad to come your way this Saturday evening. We are reaching you live from Impactful TV UK. And we are so glad that we met you fine this evening. And we hope that you have a great time with us this evening as we go ahead and look again into theodicy. And this is the third part series. And so once again, we are so excited to come your way again. And we bless God for bringing us into your way again. And so this afternoon, I hope you've got your cup of tea, because we here in the studio, we know we are going to have a very, very interesting time, just like we did in previous times. So if you want to go ahead, just grab your cup of tea or your cup of coffees. Let me also say this, that if you can just go ahead and, type, punch the subscribe button, go ahead and share this video with your loved ones. We promise you that it's going to be an exciting time today. So once again, I don't want to waste too much of your time. Once again, I'm so glad that we have in the studio our own very, very theologian. He's a very, very great man. He's a teacher, and he's been a pastor for many years. He's the senior pastor of Christ Royal churches all over the world. And once again, I'm so excited that we have in the studio our own very theologian. He has a PhD in eco theology. Once again, we just want to welcome you, sir, to Dr. OGUNMEFUN. Once again, thank you for coming in today for this third part of theodicy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, an evangelist of God. It's a pleasure to be here with you again today. So, let me sincerely apologize that came late to the studio, so due to circumstances beyond my control, as they always say. So, we are here today, so I'm happy to be part of this ongoing discussion of theodicy. Day 3, if I may say that this is a lecture 3 or talk show 3.
Yes.
So we are here now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming again to bring your theological perspective into this very, very very important topic, and it's been very interesting, and we thank God that we are able to do the third part. So let's just do a recap again, sir. Just for our viewers, that some of them that just have the opportunity of watching this for the first time. Let's have a recap, sir. So let's look at the issue of theodicy, sir.
Thank you very much. If you're just joining for the first time, as often been said, internet never lies. So it's easier to go and look at Empire Royal TV, Theodicy 1 and 2. But as the moderator Riley said, Theodicy is about suffering and the position of God in terms of looking at the concept of suffering. Because we are agreed that God is the author of and the creator of all. And we also have this understanding that he's a good God.
Yeah.
Now, and there are so much pains, evil, sufferings, and all that. So what's the position of God in this context? And that's what theodicy is all about. It's another form of apologetics. Presenting the fact that, yes, there is suffering in the world. This is who God is. At what point are we going to hold him responsible for the pain and the suffering that is going on in the world? So in the past, we've been able to examine that, look at other, so many scholarly evidence. Yeah. What they, what scholars have said, particularly some early fathers, Thomas Aquinas, Irenaeus, Polycarp, all those people, what they've said concerning, suffering. So, but they're looking at it not exactly in the word of suffering, but theodicy. He uses theological terms to bring an expression of suffering. And, that's what we've done in the past.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So we also talk about how, people go through suffering, Christians go through suffering. Everyone, generally people have, they say, oh, God is omniscience, He's omnipotent, he's omnipresent, he's an ever-loving God. In fact, we just finished celebrating Easter, and we're celebrating, a very, very good God. And so he brings this question that to us, especially as it relates to this issue of theodicy. So, why do God allow suffering to happen to bad people, to good people?
You see, that is a serious question. Why does God allow bad things to happen to good people? You see, one of the things that we do know from the theological perspective is this, that we know that the whole creation groan and travail in pain. Now, are we blaming God for creating the world? That's the first issue. The second issue is, are we not blaming God for every irresponsible action taken by man? Now, we have to understand the fact that, as I've said, in the last discussion, that the free will concept, that God gave humanity the free will to make decision, to dictate, either to choose whether to do good or to do evil, which way to walk, which way not to walk. For every action, there is a reaction. And for every reaction, there is also a consequence. So for everything that we do, there is a consequence. You understand? So when you come back to this, you look at the pain, you look at the suffering, you look at the uncertainty of life, and sometimes it makes people to be bewildered and begins to ask serious questions. I wish it's something that you're trying to, ask on behalf of your listeners. That humanity being part of the creation of God. Now, that the Bible says we are created in his image. And that's a humanity is now going through serious suffering. Now, so does that really mean that we are created for suffering? I mean, one could ask that question, does that mean we're really created for suffering? And I'm going to disagree with that notion. You were not created for suffering, but suffering has found its way into human existence as a result of action that we take. Let me bring down to a certain level. We look at it from this angle. God gave humanity wisdom, knowledge, skill, advance in technology, by abuse, created all sorts of machinery, exploration, and that begins to lead to ecological disaster. That people now start to suffer from, people start to suffer from what is called, what is this? Sorry. Right, so sorry, viewers, try to look at the internet. Now, people now start to suffer.
I think it's still live. I think it's still live.
I don't think so. Now, you see, people start to suffer for the consequence of those actions. And you want good life, you want good technology, you want all those things, and you have them, right? So then you have to be ready as well for the consequence that follows. And that is the problem we have.
Wow. So we've looked quickly there that, we hope Doctor, a theologian here today, is able to give answers to some of those questions regarding why good people suffer, or why does God allow good people to suffer. We're just gonna
pause for
we're just gonna take a break for a few minutes, and we'll be back shortly.
It's like it's cut off. Oops. It's off. You know that, have you? Huh? Check the internet. I think it's. Huh?
Jesus.